What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Investing Bros live show. It is December 11th. It's 3 p.m., and that means we've got to get into some details. Breaking yesterday during our live show, but we didn't have a lot of time to talk about it because it did happen while we were live, and we had a fully planned out show. We got the approval for Ripple Labs stablecoin. It is now going to be live. Just how bullish can it be? We're going to talk about that because I think there's a lot of people who don't fully understand just how explosive we could see XRP go in the next couple of months. Do not go anywhere. Bitcoin is rallying here today. Does that mean that altcoin season is over, or is that just a normal part of the bull market? We're going to talk about all that and a whole lot more. Make sure to smash the like, hit subscribe, but first, we got to roll the intro. Now, we got to deal with a little bit of business here in the front end. T-Shroom, is today your birthday?
It is.
Oh, no. Well, everybody, as you heard there real quick, that today is T-Shroom's birthday. Wow, happy birthday. Guys, just so you know, there may or may not be, and, we'll see, technical difficulties today. We don't know what's going on. But it seems like with me taking over the Factoid elf got a little aggressive, and now he's been kind of doing some shenanigans. So this just in, I believe our friends are back. Hello, everybody.
This could be a fun stream if that happens repeatedly here.
Yeah,
so we'll have to address
idea.
that. It happened once in in our planning, but we thought maybe it was an outlier. So we'll have to keep monitoring that one. Effectively, Ecam doesn't like your birthday. T-shirt, it sounds like, but happy birthday. You are now what is this, 67 for you? 12.
Oh, 20. The big 2-1. 21 years old.
21 years old.
That's right.
What a successful young man you are. How are you doing today on your fine birthday?
Oh man, Tim, I'm doing older than I deserve. That's really the thick and the shallow of it. But no, I'm doing good. Had a great cruise this weekend. Got a friend coming and staying with us this weekend, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Always good. Always good. We're also joined, of course, by Smay. You guys might see a lot of Smay today, especially if Ecam keeps kicking me and T-Shroom off. But Smay, how are you doing today?
I'm doing better than I deserve.
Great answer.
Good answer.
And so, yeah, well, hopefully Ecam's nice to me today, but we'll find out. So
you know what's going to happen here. I saw someone comment it. I'm seeing it now. My voice is very delayed. So what's going to happen is I'm going to make sure I refresh some stuff on my end. I'm going to leave. T-Shroom, why don't you go ahead and take us into bubbles and start looking at the Bitcoin chart. I'll be joining you guys in just a couple of minutes. Again, show will continue on, but dealing with some technical difficulties here early. Do not worry, though. We will persevere, but I'll be back here in just a minute. T-Shroom, take it away.
All right. We're going a little unconventional today, but we're going to have some fun with it. Jumping over to the green screen here. You could get it confused with the green screen because it's green. This is the Bubbles Peanut, up 31.4%. I believe Crux was saying that this is an all-time high for Peanut. It looks like it could be close. I'm not so sure, but it is gaining. That was a very popular meme. Looks like it's making a resurgence here. Virtual, the 13.4% to the upside. SUI up 19.7. We've got some other names here. Polkadot here, making a resurgence here, up 12.5%. Nice to see it for those of you who've been been loyal to the poll name and stuck with it and held on to it. Radium here up 13.4. Big shout out to Crux of Crypto in the Discord. He was very, very early on this, talking about this back in, I want to even say, August. So a bunch of people got into that one early. Very nice. Pepe up 8.3. And, I mean, every name on here is green. There's not a single red one. Oh, I stand corrected. What is this? Is this Una said Leo? Leo token is down barely. It's down 0.8. So other than that one, every single one on here in the top 100 is green. Let's see if it's the same in the top 200. Yeah, so it's just green on the screen. Wow, some immaturity in the meme world going on there. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. I've actually got Salesforce pulled up here, but pay no attention to Salesforce. It's unrelated. I wasn't looking at Salesforce's chart for any reason at all. Let's keep looking here at the crypto bigs. Pull up Bitcoin. Boy, look at that. That is just a bullish move. After a couple of different fake outs here, you can see I don't think I've ever I'm on the daily. I don't think I've ever seen wicks so long to the upside and the downside. Is this a spinning top? Can you even get a spinning top on a daily candle? This is very, very, very cool. What does that mean? It means just volatility during that time period, that day. But as you can see here in live time, Bitcoin is at $101,000. 500. So very, very bullish. We are not quite to the all-time high of 104,030, but we are getting close to that on Coinbase. We are narrowing in on it, okay? We are just 2.5% from that all-time high. It would not take much to boost us up into that level. So Bitcoin, looking good. Let's take a look at it on the oscillators. Because it looks like it's going to have some room to run. It's not even in the reversal cloud yet for LuxAlgo's reversal cloud on the daily. But let's take a look here at the MACD. What happened to my oscillator matrix? Let me pull that up as well in a second. But the MACD showing us that the MACD lines are still in a bearish position. We're waiting for a bull cross to show that momentum is coming back to Bitcoin. But we have the beginnings of that showing us here, again on the daily, a cross. Now we've seen it once, seen it twice, and then we are seeing it again here. Could this be the MACD cross that we've been waiting for that's going to put Bitcoin back into a bullish position on the MACD lines? The red histograms aren't really telling me anything here. They're kind of illusory. They've been all over the place. But overall, the price on the screen doesn't lie. Bitcoin is making a move higher, but it hasn't left this zone, that Bitcoin has been trading in really since back here. I mean, it kind of is starting to look like, just a sideways pattern here. I've obviously got these lines drawn, but overall, I'm thinking that what the screen is saying, what the price is saying here, is that we are in a channel. So more than likely, what we could see here is that Bitcoin wants to go up and test higher. And if it can break out there, then that would be really, really bullish at 106. That would be an all-time high. And potentially either we reject off that or we confirm it as support and we're off to the races. But as of now, we have not done that. All we're doing is diddling in the middle of this channel, seeing if we can get
You don't want to do
higher.
too much diddling. You don't want to do too much diddling in the middle there.
You don't want to do too much diddling in the middle.
That's
that's the. So I covered the MACD and just some general this uptrending channel that Bitcoin is in here on the daily. Tim,
fantastic
take it
stuff.
over?
I caught the back end. I restarted my computer. Sometimes my voice is delayed. My computer wants to have a complete reboot, so I had to do that. But I caught the back end. You were making some fantastic points. I'll pick up and keep going here. Let's go over to my screen. I shared with you, Smay. One of the things he's mentioning here, there is a rising channel, and I want to clarify. I was spotted to somebody on X today who was like, Tim's been calling for 85K. I unfollowed because he's been so wrong. Listen, if you guys want to unfollow every time I say something that doesn't end up happening, okay, we're not going to have a lot of followers. I say things all the time that don't end up happening. I'll tell you this, if that's your rule, I don't think you're going to follow anybody. I don't know a single human being that gets every single call correctly. But what we've been monitoring is kind of I told people not to sell Bitcoin, but there's a move that's happening right now that I don't love. I feel like it's playing with us and that we still have a bigger move to downside coming. Now, some people are going to say they don't want that to happen. I'm kind of in almost the boat. Like, I kind of do want it to come back down. I'd love for a lot of coins to cool off and then buy lower, but I understand if you want to see your portfolio stay really high. And I can't guarantee we're going to go lower, but this formation that we're looking at here, I said all that to set this up. This formation formation, even if we came all the way up here towards 107, we come up here towards 108 almost, doesn't get us out of this problem. This rising channel, we call it a rising channel. These are traditionally bearish indicators. A rising consolidation shows after a big uptick, shows a kind of dwindling of bullish momentum, and a reversal to the downside could be on the table soon. That being said,
and again, we're dealing with technical difficulties, guys. So why don't you guys hang in there? We're getting doses at a time, and that's the best way to get it. So, and I believe they're back. So,
yeah, okay, this is going to be fun. Stick with us, guys. It's a fun show today. We will definitely have it fixed for tomorrow and be good to go. But more than likely, that's going to happen a couple times at this rate. It'll probably happen another 5 or 6 times. Where I was picking up where we left off, we have room to the upside, definitely here over the next little bit. I was wrong that we would make a move down towards 85 at that time. I still want you guys to realize there are key liquidation levels down at that spot. If you take a look at lower time frames like the 1 hour chart, some of why the reason why we're rallying here is because we're kind of filling out some liquidations. There we go. We're filling out some liquidations up above us. We took out a lot this morning. We could at any point in this little boring zone reverse somewhere here around 1016, 1017. But if we keep going, look at where the interest is. You still have big pockets, $84 million of shorts that could be liquidated up here at 103. The fact is, the liquidations don't slow down until you get above 105. But again, remember, that means we could still run up. We could make a bigger move up here towards, if it loads for me, why did my lines not load? There you go. Bigger move towards 106, 107, and still have some form of a keel over where we come back down and move to the downside. Again, these formations traditionally break to the downside. Am I trying to discourage you guys? Am I trying to make you bearish? No. I'm not telling you to sell Bitcoin. I'm not telling you to sell altcoins. What I'm telling you is there's a chance that lower prices could come in. So if you're not ready for lower prices and then they happen, you could get freaked out and think, uh-oh, something went wrong. I'm going to sell off now. Something bigger is coming. But if you understand that there are potentials for lower price ranges and then they end up happening, well, you're not freaked out by it. You knew that was a very distinct possibility all along. And that's where I want you guys kind of seated. We're kind of bouncing back and forth here, but what I'm still concerned about, we talked about this the other day, there still is a sell signal on the 2 daily chart. I mean, we're starting to see some positivity on lower time frames, but we still have a bearish MACD cross. We still had this Luxembourg oscillator sell signal with a reversal. We had bearish divergence. We had bearish momentum. We had negative money flow, excessive buyers left. These are still things that historically, again, going back to previous bull markets, more than 75% of the time they end up pulling back to their smart trail. Now, the smart trail keeps rising. 85K is still on the table, but hey, maybe it ends up being a little closer. We're going to start rising this. Maybe it ends up being a little closer towards 90,000, 89,000. Maybe the floor is like 83,000 for potential chances to pull back here. But those longer time frames, I want you guys to be aware of this because I don't want you taken aback if something starts to fall. The longer time frames are still printing some slightly short-term bearish movements. It's the short-term moves. It's the short time frames. If everything loads here, a lot of, I don't know why things are kicking us off, why things are going nuts here, but it's the short-term moves that ultimately are why we're going so bullish here today. This is the 4 hour chart right here. The MACD does not even want to load. Why is that? There we go. There's our MACD. The MACD had a bullish cross here earlier today. Our RSI crossed up back above the 50. We had a good buy signal right here on the 4 hour chart with green reversal, green momentum, bullish divergence, and positive money flow. So all of these things kind of played into the role of why we're rallying here. But you're seeing even right here, you're starting to see a bubble effect come in. This light green area, that's called excessive buyers on the 4 hour chart. It's a bullish chart at the moment. I'm not saying it's done. In fact, it has a lot of room to the upside. But whenever you start to see light green and excessive buyers start pouring in, that is telling you they're propping up the market. And historically, when that happens, these are not really ever levels of high levels. Let's go back here. When this happens, like back here, back in October, the bubble ends up popping. And I'm not saying, again, I'm not calling her a crash back to 70,000 or a crash back to 50,000. I'm talking about a crash on this chart where the price and the oscillator moves back down to being overextended. oversold more so. So I want people to be prepared and ready for this. I think that, again, 105 to 107, actually the 4-hour chart, beautiful take profit level right here from Luxago. Shout out to them, the best trading indicators out there. If you want to succeed, you're going to want to get it. Get our link down below and you can join our VIP trading group. Take profit right now on a recent buy signals. Low end 103, pretty much 104 because it's 103.9. High end up here at that 107, right there at resistance. Right there at that red resistance band as well. So be ready, ladies and gentlemen. Be ready for, we could pop right here and go back down. There's nothing that says we have to go back up to resistance, but we really could get all the way up here and there still be a technical bigger pullback coming where we fall back down towards 90K. Out of curiosity, I'm curious, even with this formation, what you do when you're projecting it, and this will be the last thing I say about Bitcoin, and we'll move on. You take a look at the opening of the formation, the spreading out of this formation, so we really can go back here and look at this length, the length between when we almost hit 100,000 and then we pulled back originally to 90,700. You move this over to a potential breakout spot. Let's just put it over here. That's going to line up with the higher range of this box around 89,000. So again, could we rally from here? Could we get up to new highs? Yes, very soon. We could hit new highs, but that doesn't necessarily cancel out the negative momentum that could still be on the table here with Bitcoin. So watch you guys prepared for this. I'm not guaranteeing.
This is absolutely ridiculous. But Tim is back, so
we're going to do this. Listen, Ecamm, if anyone from Ecamm is watching, you might be losing some vendors here very soon. You might be losing some paying members because we might find a different solution to stream this show. So maybe you have a different solution to stream the show if we had to do that tomorrow? Do you hear me? If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. All right, well.
Of course, I have all kinds of tricks up my sleeve, Tim.
Listen, for the 728 of you here on YouTube and the 163 of you on X that are sticking around and going to bear with us for the next 43 minutes, because we're going to do it. We're going to get through this content today. It might not be our highest viewed show, might not be our best produced show. It might be very ugly, but we're going to go through it anyway. Stick with us all the way through. Even if you see us go away, we're coming right back. We're going to get through this painfully. But that's what we have going on Bitcoin. It's time to transition. Let's talk about, there's a couple of Bitcoin stories. So we're going to talk about XRP here in a second. XRP could be about to take off, even though today it's not necessarily moving like crazy. It did a lot of that yesterday. T-Shroom, what are the stories that are relevant on the Bitcoin front right now that people should be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a continuation of U.S. states signaling that they are interested in Bitcoin reserves. Alabama auditor Andrew Sorrell urges the state to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Again, just the latest in American states and cities, I should throw in, because the city of New Jersey, Jersey City in New Jersey, also signaled that they would be willing to create a Bitcoin reserve as well. Moving along here, SF Symbol 6, Apple's latest symbol library for apps and interfaces, features a wide range of Bitcoin icons. So not just one Bitcoin icon here, but multiple of them, a dozen of them. Looks really, really good. What is this? What is SF Symbols? This is for when you're making an app on iOS or on any kind of Mac product or Apple product. These are the icons that you can use to create that app. So these are going to be used, and this is signaling from Apple, obviously, that Bitcoin could be a big part of the future. They believe they wouldn't be putting it in their developer toolbox if they didn't think that. So that's going to wrap up our Bitcoin news. A lot of exciting stuff. Mm-hmm. Apple integrating Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And Alabama looking like they might get a Bitcoin reserve pretty soon too.
Yep. And for anyone who's in here, maybe you're newer to investing and you're confused and all this other stuff. Man, at one point he's saying bullish, then he's saying bearish, then there's this really bullish news. Different time frames bring different results. If you're wondering, I don't know if my mouth is off. That's going to mess with me if my mouth is off with the sound and everything. But if you're wondering where we fit long term, the investing bros are very, very bullish. Long term. We're talking about the next 20 years, chart go up. If you're talking about the next year, chart go up. If you're talking about the next day or two, probably chart go up. But there's a chance, I just want people prepared. Within December, there's a chance we still have some form of a pullback back towards 90, maybe a little bit below, maybe pushing towards 85. I just want you guys prepared. That does not mean your long-term bags are over. It means there's different time frames, and some time frames are bullish, some time frames are bearish, and you can be both long-term bullish and short-term bearish at the exact same time. So for anyone who's confused on that, who thinks we flip-flop back and forth, that's kind of where we're camping out at the moment. There's just something about this move that says, I don't know if this is the final breakout. I think there's another pullback coming before the next parabolic move for Bitcoin. That being said, let's move into our next topic here, the big topic of the day. Hopefully there's not too many interruptions during it from our technical difficulties. But XRP with some massive news over the last 24 hours as their stablecoin, RLUSD, has been approved. What does this mean for the future price of XRP? What does this mean for the rest of the crypto space? For more on that, let's read some stories, some details with Shroom. What do you got for us here, Shroom?
Absolutely. Well, it gets deep here, but the headline is from Brad Garlinghouse himself. Yesterday he posted this. He said, this just in, we have a final approval from New York for RLUSD exchange, and partner listings will be live soon. And reminder, when RLUSD is live, you'll hear it from Ripple first. Right. That is just a big, delicious headline that is coming for everybody who's been holding on to XRP. You have been rewarded handsomely with some upside already. This could potentially be leading to more. Let's get into a little bit of the guts, the mechanics of what RLUSD can be. But by the way, if you don't know what it is, RLUSD is a stable coin that will be issued by Ripple. And this is Vincent Van Code, has a really nice take on this. Let's read it. People think RLUSD is going to send XRP to the moon immediately. Here's my take. Too long, didn't read. 1. RLUSD approval has pumped the price up from $1.9, $1.90 to $2.35 at the last writing of this. I believe it's a little higher now. This is purely
it's at 240 now, 242 right now.
This is a purely speculative pump and not one driven by fundamentals. The real pump will happen when the AMM, automatic market maker, and LP, liquidity providers, are set up and people realize they can earn 5% APY on chain with zero counterparty risk.
You count your days, Ecam. You count your days. This is ridiculous. Anyways.
And we're back.
Please resume reading.
Exchanges will want to capitalize on this, and so they will provide the stablecoin staking while they directly lock XRP on the XRPL. That's the XRP ledger, and make percentage returns, make a yield. People will look to swapping USDT, so getting out of stablecoins like Tether, potentially Circle as well, to Ripple's stablecoin, and transferring them to their self-custody wallets. This allowing them to use the Ripple stablecoin to buy XRP tokens, etc., using the DEX, and of course buying LP tokens to make 5 to 6% returns on their tokens. Buying using XRP over RLUSD is better than just putting one or the other. So this will do is raise the demand for XRP by an order of magnitude, as on exchange asks dwindle down. Market makers will struggle with price. Bots that suppress price will struggle to keep prices at bay. Expecting this to happen from now until the end of February. That, again, if you want to go look for yourself, at Vincent_Van Code. This is compelling, and this also mirrors the research that I found while looking into this with Grok. Essentially, if this becomes reality, which they just crossed a big hurdle, Ripple did, by getting this passed in New York, people will use the stablecoin, and XRP will potentially be used to back the stablecoin, how U.S. Treasuries are used to back Tether, and there will be more demand for the native token XRP if the stablecoin picks up and gets used. So there's a big if there, but there's always a big if, right? So I think that this is pretty bullish. And to be honest with you, Tim, I'm ready to reveal something that I did yesterday. It's been a long time since I've held XRP, and I never thought I would be buying XRP above $1, but I picked up a little bit of XRP yesterday. It's mostly symbolic because I'm a value investor. I'm not going to buy high. to sell higher. I like to buy low and buy low, sell high, but I didn't want to completely miss out on what could be in store for XRP holders.
Listen, and I think I said the other day, XRP is one of my coins that I think it's creeping up as a long-term hold. We're not talking about just trying to invest in this for the bull market. This is one I think to potentially hold alongside some long-term Bitcoin. This is one I just don't see a serious competitor to it for what it specifically does. XLM is just a copycat. Can XLM have a long life? Maybe. But XLM was literally just created by a guy who was let go from XRP from Ripple. He created an identical coin almost as a spiteful move. I don't want to poop on XLM completely because, again, it clearly still has value and it still rallies. But it's always going to be living in the shadow of XRP. I think XRP is needed in the way our world's going, and it's going to stick around for a long time. So the reason I think it's still wise, even if, let's say I'm right. Let's say I'm right about, a $16 cap on XRP, right? Some people are looking at that and say that's super bullish. I'm starting to think it's really realistic. There's other people going a lot further saying, no, Tim, you're not bullish enough. XRP is going to $20, $30, $40, $50 this bull market. What I'm saying is whether we go to 16 or 20 or 30 this bull market, that's still not, if you look at it, let's go to $20. That's less than a 10x from here, right? If we went to $20, you will not even get a 10x return on your XRP. There are a lot of other coins that will do more than a 10x that if you want to just make a lot of money right now in this bull market, other things will outpace XRP. But when you talk about security of your investment and then potentially longer term investments holding for maybe the next 10, 15 years, I think XRP is one of the top coins in that category to hold on to. Something I want to kind of point out about this story, though, this was a completely speculative story. He even said so in the beginning. The tweet said this is speculative, right? It's basing a fact on that a lot of people, towards the end, he talks about people switching from Tether to RLUSD. That's speculative right there in and of itself. Now, he gives a case for it with the return, the yearly 5% APY. That's pretty good. Being able to lock that up and return annual returns on that while not having to go off and uninvest in your crypto. You can keep holding your XRP and go through it and do it. That's pretty big. What his speculative case is that there will be a massive demand for this stablecoin. And even the manipulators, even the market makers who try to manipulate price down, to suppress price, they will not be able to do so and will shoot to the moon. But what he's saying is, don't expect this massive move like today or tomorrow. Some people are. Be patient with this. This is something that could take into early next year and ultimately is something that will probably still have a big effect over the next couple of years, which is why, again, I put XRP into my camp. This isn't just a good investment. This actually you might be looking at stockpiling some XRP, not for just 2025 or 2026, but for 2030, for 2035, for 2040. This is a coin I think could absolutely keep going up. Let's take a look at the XRP chart before Ecamm kicks us off again. If it does, we'll be right back. But Smay, think of something more creative you're going to say the next time we get kicked off here. XRP started its rally yesterday on this news, right? So we had been talking about the 2 daily chart smart trail for XRP. If this is going to pop up for me, bringing the price potentially down towards 172, maybe even as low as 150. There actually was even a lot of liquidation levels.
Something creative. Anyways, they're already back, but I'm brewing something behind the scenes, guys. So don't you worry. We're going to fix this. We're going to be back and better than ever. And it's not my fault. I promise it's not my fault. Anyways.
It is. Yeah, I can promise for him too. It is not his fault. This is Ecamm's fault. And again, Ecamm, if you're listening, I think our days are numbered with you. Anyway, what I was saying when I was rudely cut off by Ecamm, the liquidation levels down here at 171, this was something that was keeping us at bay, saying, hey, maybe XRP makes a move down here. But if you watched our show from a couple of days ago, when I said that we could come down to this level, I said, unless something fundamental breaks that we're not prepared for, that we're not pricing in yet, then this all could change. Well, yesterday, we did make that move. If you go to the daily chart, we did make that move down towards the beginning of that blue box. It's going to take a while to load here. Down to the daily smart trail. We kissed 190, even as that tweet said. But then that news came out, and all of a sudden we shot up. And a lot of the big momentum from this happened yesterday. It's not just Ecamm that's glitching today. I think the internet as a whole is it? You know what? We might be blaming Ecamm too soon. Is this all that meta crap all the Facebook and Meta and all of them, is that who's causing all this stuff? It might be, because it's not just Ecan that seems to be glitching here a little bit. TradingView is not having itself a great day either. Either way, we started this run yesterday. We started this bullish turn yesterday. Keep an eye on the take profits from the 4-hour chart. Remember, I kind of showed you on the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, we were starting to see some signs we might, run into some resistance. Same thing with XRP in the short term here. I would still keep an eye around 250, maybe as high as 270. That's not quite to highs even for this cycle where we were just at 290 not that long ago. But keep your eyes on these levels. Why? Because we did get a nice bullish flash here, again, at that bottom position. We still have positive money flow, but those longer time frames are still showing us. Like if I go out here towards the daily and the 2 daily, let's go to the 2 daily again. And I say that it's going to take us a while to load. We might have to be minimal with our technical analysis here as well. You still see some signs out here. Well, it's actually regrouping. It's the money flow is flowing. We still have a red reversal bearish momentum, and we have excessive buyers. When this keels over, you still could have a bigger pullback on XRP. So we're not necessarily out of the woods yet. But again, even as that tweet suggested, there's a lot of people right now that are going to tell you XRP is going to explode right now because we just got this headline. But RLUSD is not trading live, and it definitely hasn't stolen people from USDT just yet. This is a headline breaking now, within the last 24 hours, that is long-term super bullish, that gave us a short-term pump, but didn't even take us back up above cycle highs. I just want to make sure people are prepared that XRP could pull back down below $2. Maybe only back to $2, but it still can pull back. That doesn't mean the rally's over. It means that's a golden opportunity to go find some more dry powder, some money, and buy some more XRP if you do not have a good bag of it already. We'll break off here on XRP for a second here, Smay. You can go back to our shared screen. I don't know what the rest of the show is going to look like, because what I want to move into here is a lot of Q&A. We'll look at some charts, but I think we're on pace right now. I think it's like every 6 to 7 minutes we're getting kicked off.
Yes.
So we gotta budget our time well here, right? Anything you want to add, T-Shroom, about XRP before we move on and take a look at some other coins that are running today and get into some Q&A?
If you jump over to my screen, Smay, you'll see that there was a whale alert yesterday. 22 million XRP valued at just over $26 million worth was transferred from Binance to an unknown wallet. That is a bullish move. That's a bullish transfer, signaling that whoever this whale is, they do not have intention to to sell Binance. To sell XRP. They do not have intent to do that. So that's bullish. Also, Ali reported in the recent dip, whales bought over 100 million XRP. So XRP bulls are finally getting what they've been waiting for. It is a season of nonstop bullishness for XRP, and this is what altcoin season's all about, right? It's a schedule. It's a montage of all your favorite cryptos, but not all at once, right? Sometimes they take the stage and they get all the spotlight. A couple weeks ago it was SUI, then Solana kind of jumped back up, and then Ethereum became a big talking point. Right now XRP has earned this. The fact that it's coming out as bullish instead of going to zero is just so exciting, and I think it could have gone the other way. It did not go the other way, and it's just a season. It's like the groundhog going back into its hole, right? The summer is here for XRP. Very, very bullish. Very exciting.
Last thing here, I actually missed this when I was doing the charting, and we'll move on. I'm going to look at SUI's chart here in a second because SUI's popping off today. There's a falling channel. This is actually a bullish formation. Go to my screen real quickly, Smay. Falling channel on XRP right now. Remember we talked about the rising channel on Bitcoin and how Bitcoin could rally a little bit more before it rejects, but it's a bad channel. It's a bearish channel. Well, this is one that long-term is bullish. When you're consolidating to the downside, you're regrouping to move to the upside. Problem is, we are running into resistance right here. So it's going to be a big question. Is the next move for XRP to break?
And just like that, on time, at about 6 minutes, it happened again. But they're already back, so hello?
Oh, Tim's not back yet. It's just the better half. Just kidding.
There he is.
There he is.
I don't know what happened. That was a worser one. This is getting worse. It's breaking as we go.
Uh,
All right. Well, let's go. I'll finish what I was saying here and we'll move on. 6 minutes. Start the timer. We broke through. The question is going to be, do we break through the resistance level right here, or do we end up rejecting? If I can go ahead and grab that tool again, do we end up rejecting and moving our way back down towards support level, right? So that's gonna be the questions we have here on XRP. Either way, breakout to the upside coming on XRP. The news is great. The long-term charts are still great. The question is, can we sustain the bullish move now, or do we pull back here a little bit? And again, XRP has been underperforming, only up 2.5% since the daily candle open, compared to a lot of other coins. For example, like SUI, that is up 16% on the daily candle. Flowing here, earlier it was around 362. It is back up above $4. Not quite back to cycle highs, not quite back to new all-time highs, but very, very close. I mean, SUI right now is only, let's get the official number here so I don't just spit it out, 4%, just under 4% away from all-time highs. Here's the question. What does this look like on the time frames, on the oscillators, on the indicators? Do we sustain this move? Right, so we got a very good bullish cross on the MACD. We got a buy signal on the 4-hour Lux Algo oscillator with the reversals, the bullish momentum, the positive money flow. That is why we're heading to the upside. What are the indicators telling us right now? As we have broken above the 4-hour smart trail, we're hitting the smaller level of the take profit. I'm interested to see, do we get up to a higher level here towards 468, new all-time highs, before this ends up correcting? Let's take a good look at our liquidation shot here, and we're going to go to a lower time frame that gives us a little bit more details, a little more data here. Well, we have take profits again up here, 450. Yeah, we have a wave of liquidity, not a lot below us, right? Not a whole lot of reason why we need to crash back down. You could make arguments that 316 is on the table, but I think what's going to happen here, if I was going to take an educated guess based off this liquidation chart, you do have some here at $4. I think that there's a good chance SUI can finish the job here, break through this liquidity, go maybe to 450, give or take, then decide somewhere in that range to keel back over. We're in price discovery mode at that point, and maybe start taking out some of this liquidity, finding some support, and moving back to the upside. Let's back out though here and do some more basic technical analysis back towards the 4-hour chart, if it's going to load for me here. There we go. All right, let's take a look at Fibonacci extension on the 4-hour base here, because once you get into price discovery mode, deciding where you want to reverse and stop at is going to be something that's very interesting. So I said 450 could be a range, a double top at the all-time high could be very interesting. But if we start to sustain a big move above it, you're going to want to keep your eyes on $5 and up here at 540. Why? Because that's the 1.382 on Fibonacci extension. And then, of course, 540 is going to be the golden pocket Fibonacci extension on this most recent downward move here on SUI. That is what we are watching for. You also probably can keep an eye on a potential trend line. As some people who trade trend lines almost extensively by themselves, they'll be watching a retouch of this line as potential resistance. If I go back here, let's see if we see any crossover on this line. We could potentially, maybe see a rally way over here later in December. At $5 crossing that 1.382 would be interesting to see if we get that high when we reject. But that's what we see on those lower time frames. On the macro time frames here, the longer time frames on things like SUI, this is the 2 daily chart. Let's see what those oscillators are saying. This is one that we had a sell signal like the others. Did we come back down? We did not touch that 2-day smart trail just yet. The difference on SUI, I'll say, and one of my cases for the 2 daily smart trail is historically the last bull market, you saw almost every single altcoin that was around when it got a 2 daily sell signal, right? So we're talking about the oscillators here, the Lux Algo oscillator, reversal, bearish momentum, negative money flow. There's about a 70 to 80% probability that the 2-day smart trail sell signals will touch their smart trail at some point. That still has to be on the table. Now, what I want to be clear here about SUI is SUI was not around last bull market. So SUI very much could be playing by some different rules. Altcoins that are older will respond to more historical moves based on technical analysis. I'm going to give SUI a slight pass. I'm going to tell you it's a possibility. I'm going to say returning to the 2-daily smart trail around $3 is a possibility. But because it's a newer coin, because it has so much momentum and so much going for it, I'm going to pay way more attention to the bullish indicators right now than I am the bearish ones. And at the moment, like we said, lower time frames are absolutely printing bullish levels. What I would love to see to feel confident that the smart trail is not going to come back here on the 2-daily chart, I would love to see both the daily and the 2-daily chart start to print some form of confidence and bullishness here on the daily and 2-daily chart. What I mean by that is, even if we don't see a
So, if you guys, while they're waiting, I have literally a lap. It's every 6 minutes. Just science. I did science here. But anyways, back.
We always want to do some science. Going back to my screen, picking up where we left off. What I want to see is at least a green momentum dot and positive money flow, right? At the moment, technically the daily chart is still under a sell signal. Red reversal, this red line is bearish divergence. That's negative momentum that is not stopped, and that money flow is still negative. The daily chart the daily chart has not done it yet either. 317 still on the mark for the daily smart trail. But again, I want to see bullish momentum before I discredit these smart trails. Before I say, you know what? We're not going to hit those smart trails. We don't need to hit those smart trails. Why? Because we have this bullish momentum. It's not there yet. And this takes me back to some things that I want to remind people that I've said earlier. It's not about what we can guarantee, because the reality is, in the world of trading, in the world of technical analysis, there's very little you can guarantee. But there's educated probabilities that people should be made aware of. And right now, we have been under a wave of volatility, a wave of up and down. Depending on what day you are looking at any of these assets, you maybe could have gotten very, very bearish. In fact, you were bearish here for almost 2 weeks, thinking a lot worse could happen. Then all of a sudden we turned bullish. Then we were bearish again for a couple more days. I think it would be foolhardy of people to say just because today is extremely bullish, that means the bull market is officially back, that we have nothing to do but go to the upside. What I would love to see to confirm that the bull market is back is something that we saw on these big breakouts. And that big news was massive volume coming in. I mean, look at even SUI's chart. Look at where the biggest levels of volume have started to pick up. It's come on big breakouts. But at the moment, with the exception of that big volume candle right there, today's volume is not that impressive. Volume is actually down here from the last couple of weeks. To confirm the next big wave is coming across any cryptocurrency, I'm talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about XRP, I'm talking about Chainlink, Cardano, Ethereum, whatever you're looking at, you really want to see that increased volume match the bullish candles, and that will be your sign that the next big wave is coming. Until then, you do need to be aware that pullbacks, consolidation is a part of how these markets move. That is something we have to keep an eye on. Let's go off my screen here for just a second. We're gonna enter into some Q&A time with you guys. We can talk about markets. We can talk about TA. We have how many minutes left until we're gonna have a little dip, Smay?
You have about 3 minutes.
There we go. All right.
Awesome.
We have 3 minutes here. What are your guys' questions? What do you guys want to take a look at today? What do you want to talk about? I see Ashley Wells says, this boy is so lost he can't read high time frames. Lols. Hey, Ashley, feel free to tell me what you're seeing on those higher time frames. Higher time frames are saying bearish. That's all I'm saying right now. If you're looking at least at middle time frames, I guess daily, 2-daily, they're reading bearish. I read charts for what they say. Doesn't guarantee things are going to happen, but I'd love to hear what you think as well. Ashley, what are you telling us? What's the forecast? Give us some resistance levels. Keep an eye on. Take a look at Render, says drop top OX. Render has been popping off again today. Smay, give me like a 30-second warning, and we'll kind of regroup and go. But take a look at Render here today. Render, of course, had big pullbacks over the last couple of days. It has been big rally here today, up 11.3% on the daily candle. Let's look at the larger time frames. What is going on with our oscillators, with our indicators? Oscillators right now, they were in sell signals. We're still under a sell signal. Red reversal, bearish momentum, negative money flow. If I go to the 2-daily chart, let's take a look over here. If it loads, there we go. Red reversal, bearish momentum. We don't really have the negative money flow yet, right? So we started flowing positively But this is one that I think if we end up correcting will turn into a 2 daily sell signal. But I'll stick with what we really need to keep an eye on here, and that would be the daily chart smart trail, where we already actually bounced. Now, the take profits are lower, so if we end up falling, and I guarantee you the 2 daily smart trail is going to be in this range, you're going to keep your eyes around 730. $7.30, $7 on the low end for render. But I guarantee if we go and look at smaller time frames here, it's the 4-hour chart, just like almost everything else that is going bullish right now. Recent buy signal here. We could rally before any type of pullback. We could come back up here towards the highs of a couple days ago. Is that 30 seconds, Smay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just about. It's a different glitch happened. So hang in there. Like
glitch.
45 seconds.
We could make a move back up to 10. And this is what people need to be aware of, is the volatility of altcoins. This is why some people don't want to touch altcoins with a 10-foot pole, because we could literally see a rally before a pullback. We could see a rally of 10%, and then after that, see a pullback back down towards $7 in the range of a fall of 30%. And if you look at the charts, that's kind of just a normal move here more recently on render. That wouldn't even be the largest pullback we had seen in the last 2 months. So this is something to keep an eye on. I'm bullish on it right now. The lower timeframes on render are showing a continuation to the upside. Is probably in the cards, but do not rule out these longer timeframes that have not flipped bullish just yet. Now, I am expecting it kicked off here any second. Go back to our split screen here for a second, Smay. I wish we could kill it and get ahead of it and play around it, but it's probably just going to ugly kick us off here.
Wow. Right on time. That is insane. Right on time. Anyways,
listen,
there it is.
Sometimes I predict things perfectly. That one was pretty darn perfect.
What is going on?
We did get a super chat for Marathon TA. Marathon
yes.
Bitcoin miner. Do we want to
you
take a look at that?
You got a fresh 6 minutes.
We have 6 minutes now. We can do a lot of Mara TA and have some fun here. I have not looked at the Mara charts here in definitely at least a couple weeks. And something we had drawn on this chart, which reminds me, we need to go take a look at Tesla after this T-shirt.
Absolutely.
We might wait until the next 6-minute segment where we get kicked off and everyone talks to Smay for like 10 seconds. This is a line that we had drawn. Again, I had not looked at this chart in multiple weeks. We had not broken out here on Mara when this line was drawn. This was a resistance and support level that we said, hey, look for this falling channel to break to the upside. Well, since we've looked at this formation, Mara has broken this resistance, not just faked out and come back down. It's broken it, and we're currently kind of working on Mara of confirming that this resistance level, former resistance level, is being turned into support. Let's take a look at the daily chart and see what's kind of going on. But I want to look at the lower time frames. It'll probably give us a lot more data there. The MACD is bearish. The RSI looks like it wants to bounce off that 50. That's a positive sign. And then you come over here to the daily Lux Algo chart. Technically, this is a sell signal, right? Red reversal, bearish momentum, negative money flow, but it's very pathetic, right? So this is kind of a very pathetic sell signal. I would not be surprised. I wouldn't have been surprised if the smart trail was right there and we're bouncing off that smart trail. So this isn't one that I'm really looking at and saying, oh, I want to enter a short right now, even though the daily chart has a sell signal. Now I want to go down and take a look at what the 4-hour looks like, where, again, a lot of the crypto market today is looking quite bullish. And it looks like today we are just starting some bullish moves on Mara, where the RSI did cross below the 50, but it's working its way back up. The MACD looks like it wants to start crossing back towards going bullish and maybe get a bullish cross, although that has been consolidated right here. You can see these moves on MACD. You kind of have a nice little range right here, a rising, broadening wedge kind of going on of what's happening with the MACD. So I don't know if we're going to see anything massive happen on Mara. We're still in kind of a collected group, but let's get some increased volume to the upside and it could go crazy. What makes me excited, though, about the 4-hour chart is we're literally witnessing a 4-hour buy signal at this very moment. Green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow. That's a 4-hour buy signal. So if you guys are Mara traders, if you're looking for a position on Mara, that is a very good signal. And with us being above the 4-hour smart trail, traditionally I like to see the smart trail as my target. I would just say, hey, use the take profit on the charts at the moment with levels of selling pressure coming in early stages around $28. High stages around $30. That's a very easy short-term trade. And what you're going to want to do with that is you want to ride that up and say, okay, Does the 4-hour turn into a 6-hour bullish chart where we're starting to get some bullish indicators and it's still the same targets, but does that become an 8-hour bullish chart, which is not just yet, but then all of a sudden you start to raise from $30, up to $33. Does the 8-hour become a 12-hour bullish signal, so on and so forth, where we can keep in these higher levels of resistance? But the overall thought here that I'm looking at on this chart is that we had a major breakout here just a week or so ago. And right now, especially we get that bounce, that will confirm, that will give us the confidence that this is a good trade. And ultimately, if I back it out here, what you're going to want to keep an eye on is the opening of this formation. If we confirm and we start to move back up towards $28, $30, then we're talking about this formation, talking about a long-term trade up towards $51 just because of the breakout of this falling channel. So that's what we're kind of watching for Mara. Thank you for suggesting that. Really quickly,
Yep.
let's stay in the stock world and look at Tesla's chart. Smay, how long do we have before we get
You
kicked?
have about a minute. Maybe like a minute and 30.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been a while since we looked at the Tesla chart here as well. But if you guys have been watching us for a while, remember this right here. I'm going to draw this better because that is super hideous. We talked a while ago about this left shoulder, this head, and then this right shoulder developing. We said, look out for an inverse head and shoulders breakout. We said the neckline right here, the entry point would have been around 257. The projection would have put us up here at 484. Today, Tesla just hit a brand new all-time high at $422 at the moment. Yes, beating out those highs from November of 2021, but it might not be done yet. Again, as those projections from the inverse head and shoulders still have us heading closer towards 500. You're also starting to look at the oscillators, and it's probably going to kick me off here any second,
30
but
seconds.
I'm gonna keep going through. We're getting a red reversal on the daily chart, but we still have room to the upside. No bullish, no bearish divergence, still positive money flow. So we're getting close to that breakout projection. We're getting close to this 483, 84 level. And it looks like on these longer time frames, we just have a little bit more room before a reversal needs to come. More than likely, if you are in a Tesla long, if you are longing this, I'm not talking about long-term holds, I'm talking about trading, that profit of 484 is probably going to be the best one for you. And we're going to take a pause here for a second because we're probably about to be kicked off. We're going to come back and we're going to do our factoid of the day and then maybe one more question. But Smay, get that ready.
Right on time. Right on time. You really hate to see that. You really do. You really do.
I'm projecting them. I'm really the transition.
It's literally I have a lapse going. It's literally almost 6 minutes every single time.
Yeah.
The error is just me.
I got some show and tell on my screen here, Smay. This is Elon Musk saying, as foretold in the prophecy, Tesla hitting 420. Obviously, the meme of it all. One thing I think you missed, Tim, over on Marathon. You got to look at those higher time frames, Tim, and you got to listen to Ashley. There is some. It looks like bearish divergence here from the hyperwave to the price. So a little bit. It could be a little bit more of a movement to the downside here from Marathon than what might let on because of this line here. This bearish divergence, normal divergence. So we could see a more of a move to the downside. Of course, what is Mara? So just so you guys are tracking, it's a stock. Okay, it's not a crypto, so don't go buy the ticker MARA on CoinMarketCap because you will be buying a scam coin, right? Or some other project that has nothing to do with this. It's a stock, and it's a Bitcoin mining stock. Okay, so there's a big head scratcher right now in the equities world because if you look at this is my watch list here of crypto of Bitcoin mining companies. And these have not been keeping pace with Bitcoin at all. You'll notice it's well below its all-time high put back here in 2021. But so are the rest of them. CleanSpark, low off of its low by a wide margin here. Let's measure it out. From the highs in 2021, it's down 70%. Okay, hasn't returned yet. And then from the highs, there was some dilution, I believe, since 2017. So it's not going to return to those highs. Clean Spark. Let's look at Hut 8. Hut 8, similar situation, still off about 67% from its highs. Core Z, though. Core Z effectively pivoted from Bitcoin mining to AI. And it still does a ton of Bitcoin mining, but it also now is servicing with its infrastructure the rise of AI and its need for energy. After all, Bitcoin mining infrastructure is perfect for to be inhabited by the AI servers that server clusters that demand high energy as well. So Cores is one that I've picked up. I believe you actually could pick it up for lower than I got it today. So you can pick up Core Z. That's a pretty good stock, in my opinion, because they have diversified into AI. But Marathon, CleanSpark, Riot, these are good Bitcoin mining companies. They have not kept parity with Bitcoin. You might be thinking, ooh, that's bearish, right? Well, it kind of is now, but it also is potentially an opportunity because there's a good chance that these will catch up and hit their all-time highs like Bitcoin has. So that is the little bit of riff in there on the Bitcoin mining.
Wait for the next Bitcoin move. The next big Bitcoin move, the miners will start to move again pretty explosively. What's our time, Smade? Do we have time to do the factoid before the next glitch?
Well, we have like about 2 minutes. So
all right, read the question. We might have to use the glitch to think of our answer.
That should be perfect.
That should be perfect. All right. Boom. Here we are in the factoid of the day. Let's go ahead and read the question. It's about orangutans, in case you couldn't notice. Which of the following statements about orangutans is false? A. Orangutans are the largest arboreal mammals, spending most of their lives in trees. B. Orangutans can live up to 60 years in the wild under optimal conditions. C. There are 3 recognized species of orangutan: Bornean, Sumatran, and Tapanuli. D. Male orangutans develop large cheek pads called flanges, which help them attract mates and assert dominance. All right. Go ahead.
D is true. D is true. I know D is true.
Okay.
I have no idea about C because that's only a level that Smay's homeschooling level would understand. We didn't get that far in my homeschool. Orangutans can live up to 60 years in the wild under optimal conditions. I think that's true. They're larger apes. I think that's going to be it. Now, what the heck is an arboreal mammal? What's the definition there?
It means they're in trees. They live in
trees.
Well,
arbory is the...
No, okay, you're on the wrong track. Arboreal just means climbing in trees.
Do gorillas will go in trees, right? Right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong on that? Gorillas will go in trees. Aren't gorillas bigger than orangutans?
I'm not answering anything.
I think the false one might be A, T-shirt, but because I don't know C, I'm going to go with A.
You guys got 30 seconds.
I think B and
Charlie.
D are both correct. I'm going to go A. I'm going to go A is the
all right,
the false answer.
And the answer is they only live 30 to 40 years in the wild. 60 plus has only been seen in captivity. Wow. And just like that,
definitely
almost on the dot. You guys have like 15 seconds.
A new factoid regime has begun.
The details of these questions are...
Well, I wanted to make it hard.
You succeeded. You succeeded. That was intense.
Because you guys, it was a layup last time. It was a layup. So...
Well, we should be cutting it out.
There it is. There it is. All right, go ahead. You guys come back now. There we go.
I'm getting good at it too.
That's so funny.
That's gonna be the last one. We're gonna wrap up the show. Here's what I want people to know. I'm writing it down on I always have a whiteboard right here, right? I have a whiteboard. I write notes. I see people asking for GRT. I see people asking for. People ask about Chainlink all the time. We do Chainlink, a lot of times. But there was another one on here. What was the other one? People were asking for. Scroll back. Arweave. I am not going to do them here right now. This is, this show has been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of glitches. We're going to get out of this show. Members, whether you're a YouTube member or a Discord member, there will be a Discord meetup here in just a couple of minutes. So if you have questions, come ask there. If you ever want to come on and ask me to do some technical analysis or any of our pro traders, we have a lot of great traders, great technical analysts over in our VIP trading group. Go join it right now. You can sign up for Discord memberships down in the description. You can purchase Luxago, the #1 trading indicator in the entire world. It has been killing it in our trading group. People are making hand over fist. Guess what? You get that indicator. It's amazing. And then you get into our VIP trading group. If you're asking me which level, if you guys go and click on it, I recommend the ultimate level. And even though it's the most expensive one, you might be saying, oh, that's just because Tim wants us to spend a lot of money. No. I want you to have the best indicators possible. And while premium is good, premium is solid. I use premium. It's the ultimate level comes with back testing and an AI feature that you can work with to program trading strategies based on the exact asset, on the time frame, and you can back test your strategy and find out how successful it would be and where you should be putting your take profit and your stop losses. It is like a trading cheat code. I recommend to all of you guys out there, join the ultimate level of Luxago. Let us know you do. Go join our free Discord, create a ticket, and you'll get free access to our VIP trading group. With that said, we're going to wrap out the show before the next glitch. We love that you guys stuck around. Thank you so much for being here through all the chaos. Hopefully tomorrow is a much better day, but smash the like, hit subscribe. We love you guys. See you tomorrow. Adios.